Alright folks, welcome back. If I'm timing this correctly, this should go live about an hour before I'm supposed to compete in the Proving Grounds Balatro Invitational. It should be a straight up high score competition between me and 15 other people. Everyone will be given the same seed, and then you have 1 hour to try to get the highest score that you can on that seed. Because it is a set seed, we are given unlimited restarts. If you play quickly within that 1 hour, you can do some routing, you can do some optimizing, you can try to get the high score that way. My plan is no routing at all. My plan is play just one time. My plan is to play as far into endless mode as possible. Endless mode is allowed. Since the launch of the game, it's been about a month now, I've only actually done 5 endless runs, and I've recorded them all. So if you are familiar with my Balatro Science playlist, where I've got an endless run on each of, let's say, the Black deck, Plasma deck, Ghost deck, Anaglyph deck, those, they're all world records, every single one of them. And so if you go long into endless mode, it doesn't matter what seed you start with, you can always find what you're looking for. So let's talk about what we're looking for. So the scoring that is going to give you the highest points, the highest scoring, this is it. Starts with the Baron. So the Baron says times 1.5 molt for each king held in hand. And so if you do something like you play high card, then that's just one card and you have a bunch of kings in hand. All of those kings give you times 1.5 for each of those. That is more times 1.5s than you'll get from however many jokers that you're holding on to. And so, maybe instead of, like a times 9 vampire or whatever, this is completely irrelevant once you have Baron instead. Also, Baron combos with, if we have Mime gives you a re-trigger on all of your held in hand abilities. So this is going to give you a re-trigger on all of those Baron abilities, all those kings. Also going to give you re-triggers on all of your steel cards. So even without the Baron, the Mime is very good, high scoring technology. And what's even better about the Mime, not only does it give you the re-triggers on your steel cards for scoring, it also gives you re-triggers on your gold cards for making money. And so generally what you're looking to do is early on, score just enough to win each round, and then maximize as much money as you're making from each round. If you're making more money, you're seeing more shops. You have a better chance of just finding the stuff. Whatever you want, you can find it if you make enough money. All right, another way that we can score, other than just going for kings here, we can also score with Sock and Buskin, giving us re-triggers on all of our face cards that we play. So rather than holding them in hand, maybe we play kings, maybe we play glass kings, and then each glass king is going to re-trigger that ×2 molt from all those glass cards. Or, even without any glass cards, we can re-trigger things like Bloodstone here, giving us X molt whenever we play hearts. And so, in addition to going for kings, specifically for the possibility of getting the Baron eventually, we're also going to be going for hearts. So kings of hearts, for the possibility you could get the Bloodstone if you're going for hearts. And then this, can be, it's not very consistent, this 1 in 3 chance for the ×2 here, but if you get enough of the re-triggers, then with 10 or 25 triggers or whatever it is, you'll get the X2s enough of the time. And so you want to be able to copy this with the Sock and Buskin. Other options here, you can also copy it with the Dusk. Will do re-triggers also, not on every hand but on the final hand. And then if you need sort of another X molt option instead of the Bloodstone, instead of the glass cards, or potentially in addition to those, you also have the Idol as a possibility here. Something to note about the Idol, the way that it chooses a card, it will randomly choose a card in your deck sort of uniformly between the different options. So if you have more copies of a card, that card will be selected more often. You don't need this to work all of the time, you just need this to work one time, that's it, and then you get the super big high score and then you're done for the round. Or maybe you hold on to it for a while and then you score more later. Because This is an uncommon because, you know, Bloodstone uncommon, Sock and Buskin uncommon. Also the Mime is uncommon. It is easy to get copies if you do something like this. If you invest in the Showman, Showman allows you to get copies of just any Joker, you know, potentially multiple copies of Baron, multiple copies of Blueprint. Well, you know, maybe it's hard to get multiple copies of the rares, but it's not as hard to get multiple copies of the uncommons. And so that's the main plan. The main plan is to go for Kings of Hearts and then either do the build where we play high card, re-triggering with all of the Kings and the Baron, or we go for Flush 5. We play 5 of the same card, and then that way we can get a bunch of X-Molt from the idol. If you are going for Flush 5, don't play regular 5 of a kind, don't play Flush House, because once you play those, it unlocks the planet cards, and then if there's more different planet cards in the pool, then it's harder to find the specific one that you're looking for. And so, you know, if we go and look at the collection here, if we go and look at the planet cards, all of these X-Molt things, by the way, you know, whether it's X-Molt when you play cards or whether it's X-Molt when you hold in hand, all of that happens before any of your other Jokers, before, you know, any kind of plus molt that you get from your Jokers. So all of that, all the other Jokers, completely irrelevant. The only thing that matters is you have the high enough poker hands leveled up. And so even from the beginning of the run, start taking Pluto cards, because Pluto cards, you will eventually find the steel cards, you will eventually find the Mime. You know, it's just uncommon, it's not rare, it's not hard to find. So this is plan A. Plan A is to get as many Pluto cards as you can. Plan B is going to be level up your Flush 5. Of course, leveling up Flush 5 here grows faster than Pluto does. Maybe something that's not obvious is, you know, here Flush 5 is 3 times the molt and it's 4 times the chips. So in total, you know, long term, this is going to be worth 12 times as much points. Well, it doesn't take that many kings with the Baron in order for your high card to be worth more than Flush 5. So really, that is the technology. High card is the best, but if you don't find your Baron right away or you don't find your Baron at all, then Flush 5 is the next best thing. Now, when you're going for the Flush 5, you want to play it early at least one time so that you can unlock it. Once you unlock it, you don't have to play Flush 5 every time. What you want to think about is, how can I score as much as possible, or how can I score enough to pass each round while still having, you know, as many Joker slots dedicated to money as possible. And so we play the Flush 5 one time to unlock it, and then the rest of the time play something like this, play something like Mars. 4 of a kinds. 4 of a kinds you can unlock earlier, you can start leveling these up even without the ability to play 4 of a kind. You can start taking these from the first shop already, and you know, as you're going through each round, you don't have to worry about drawing all 5, you just play 4 of a kind. So something I've demonstrated in the past is you can win every run on white stake, guaranteed. You can win every run on white stake using high card builds specifically. Like, you can just force high card every time, and you can do this playing ludicrously fast. So what we've done in the past, you know, kind of averaging between 10 and 15 minutes per run. We got the 15, the every deck win streak, you know, winning every deck basically using high card or pairs. And so this may not be necessary. You know, once you find the correct Jokers, you can start leveling up your high card, which is already what you want to be doing anyway, in order to be building towards your Baron. And so to build high card, I mean, you should already know, you should already have a plan for that. You know, you want to get things like plus chips here from the Stuntman, or, you know, other kind of plus chips, maybe even banners, fine. And you want to have a scaling source of plus molt, some large source of plus molt. So maybe something like the bus, maybe to a lesser extent the Green Joker, or the Supernova here, or maybe something where it doesn't necessarily have to be scaling if it's just a big enough start. So something like Erosion, of course, starts slow, but as you remove cards from your deck, it does get bigger, right? And so, or I guess Fortune Teller also starts slow and actually it grows slow, and maybe don't do that. But you know, basically the idea is this. Basically, with just one plus molt joker, you can just win with high card. That's it. You can just survive with high card. And if that's all the scoring that you need, all the rest of your joker slots dedicated to money. So phase 1 is get the high card build online. Phase 2 is make as much money as possible. Phase 3 is, you know, with the money, start to transition into, start to look for, you know, maybe flush 5s, or maybe you do get lucky and you find the Baron. Even without the Baron, Mime is perfectly serviceable. Also, of course, you want red seals to retrigger all of those things. Anyway, generally speaking, that's kind of my plan. High card, Baron. Kings of Hearts. Remember Kings of Hearts. Alright, good luck everybody.